And Tudor, as you know, we've been keeping an eye on the southern border, maybe closer than most networks, because we've been sending our own Ben Bergquam down there, and he's been doing just incredible work that we've been sharing with everybody here on America's Voice Live.
Yeah, he's been all over the border. We have Ben Bergquam now down there in Calexico, California. Ben, what's happening down there at the border? You're so far away from us.
Hey guys, well I just wanted to give you a scale of the size of this wall, the new wall President Trump erected and the last administration erected. In most places it's 30 feet tall. This one, it feels like it's about 40 feet tall. I mean, you see I'm 6'2", and I look like a little dot, but I actually backed up here to show you two other things as well. The tires you see on the ground to my left, those are what Border Patrol used to scrape the ground to try to show footprints when people, that, if you can imagine it, people still climb this. It's obviously you can't do 1,000 people at a time, but they still do, and when they do, they want to see those footprints. Well, it's funny because I found this, and I'm going to get a little closer so you can see it. This was a homemade rake that I found in Yuma, Arizona, that illegal aliens used to then hide their footprints. So as Border Patrol's trying to uncover them, they're running behind them. We've seen the carpet shoes. This is the first time I've seen a homemade rake that was down there. But it's wild. It's the Wild West. And really the important part about this is walls only work if we have the policies in place in America to secure the border. And right now we don't have those. When Joe Biden and this regime ended the Remain in Mexico policy, what that did was say, these walls are irrelevant now. All you have to do is find an opening in them. You come over to America, and then you just disappear into our country. And I have video footage from Yuma, over 10 different groups coming across when we were there just the last 2 days. It's out of control. But I also had an opportunity to speak with Sheriff Wilmot of Yuma County. And this is what we talked about a couple things. First, I want to play the clip about what he said in regards to COVID and the hypocrisy of the Democrats, if we could play that.
How is it that you've got 26 plus countries that are locked down, you've got 14 days that you have to self-isolate, but yet if an individual comes across the border illegally and enters our country, you're going to give them a pass within 71 hours to get on a bus, a train, or a plane to travel to the interior of the United States with no COVID test. Now, they say they're doing medical screening, but it's a play on words when they say they're doing that. Everybody does a medical screening. Sheriffs know that. We do it in our jails each and every day. That's taking their temperature and then checking to see if they have any obvious medical conditions and then asking them questions. That's a medical screen. And that's what Border Patrol is only able to do with the resources that they have. When Border Patrol is limited on the amount of people that they can have in their facility because of COVID restrictions, and ICE cannot come pick them up, Border Patrol has no choice but to release them into society without a COVID test.
And you guys were just playing that clip from Joe Biden's speech last night about how we can't celebrate yet that there might be more lockdowns in America. And I'm sitting there hitting my head against that wall behind me thinking, well, Joe, if you want to stop COVID, maybe we should secure that border and stop letting tens of thousands of illegals, many of them bringing COVID and tuberculosis and yellow fever across. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. The real point, though, and for people to understand this, what's behind me, the people that control what's on the other side of that border it's the cartels. And Sheriff Wilmot had a comment about that as well.
It's a catastrophic crisis that's been created within the last 2 months because an executive order was issued by the President of the United States for MPP, which is a whole different ballgame. But that just allowed the cartels to further exploit the whole situation. And every bit of what we're seeing down here along the border is controlled and orchestrated intentionally by the cartels in Mexico. There is no doubt about it. Each one of those individuals that you're filming coming across are paying the cartels $6,000 to be smuggled across where the cartels dictate they go. That takes our Border Patrol troops off of the front line and process it. So the cartels can now get their illegal narcotics smuggled into our country and distributed throughout the United States. Just this fiscal year, they've already intercepted close to 5,000 pounds of fentanyl. We are all addressing opioid addiction and abuse in every one of our cities and counties across the United States, and people are dying. But yet, Border Patrol has now been turned into, by this administration, the Uber for the cartels to get to where they need to go in the United States.
And I think that point, that line right there, Border Patrol has been turned in by this administration to Uber for the cartels. That says it all. Stephen Tudor.
It is stunning to see all of those things happening. It's stunning to know that COVID-19 patients that have tested positive are being sent to the interior with their bus ticket, plane ticket, whatever it is, Ben. We know you've got a special coming up this weekend. Ben, on the border, tell us about what we're going to see.
Everything that the fake news mainstream media doesn't want you to see, everything that this administration doesn't want you to see, exclusively only on Real America's Voice News. It will air starting Sunday at 11 a.m. and then again Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys do not want to miss it. You have to watch it, and you have to spread it throughout America so America sees what's really happening down here.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ben
certainly.
Bergquam.
And, yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate all of the work that you do on the border. I've actually seen some of the clips from that program, and he's right. You don't want to miss it. It's just shocking stuff, things that I really could not have imagined go on down there. But it goes to what I was saying earlier, Steve, about we have to really be considering what's happening to these people that are at the border, what their safety level is, how at risk these young children and these women are, because we're hearing that this is humane. But what we're going to see in this special is that maybe these policies aren't humane.
Yeah, maybe they're not, and it is stunning footage. We've seen some of it. Ben's been crawling around in caves that's been filled with trash and debris by the illegals coming through. I mean, knee-deep in trash and backpacks and clothing and everything else. The crossings that he caught on camera and so much more. Don't miss it. Ben at the border. It's coming up this weekend right here in Real America's Voice. When we come back, a bit of a breather on this Friday. We'll talk about what